Hello everybody, I'm Alex from QuickDev and today I will showcase another quick Unity tip. Let's go! I think it's safe to assume that at one point in your Unity adventure, you've struggled with one concept, editor scripting. Do you know that feeling when you had to add a boolean into your script and suddenly you realize, hey, if I want this boolean to be true, then I'm going to use these parameters. But if it's false, then these parameters will not be used in the game. Therefore, you set yourself, I would like that when I check the boolean, 2 or 3 parameters to show up and use them. And when I do not check the parameter and it's set to false, then those same 2 or 3 parameters will stay hidden. That is what we're going to do today. A custom script, a custom editor script that is going to allow you to show or hide parameters based on your boolean choice. Let's create an empty game object. And now let's go into our IDE of choice and create our script. I'm going to create a simple C# script called player. Let's assume that we have a real case scenario with a player. And for simplicity's sake, let's take this example. We are going to have a boolean called can_run. And if this boolean is checked at runtime, that means that when the player starts, he has the ability to run. If this ability is not checked, then your player cannot run. But we thought to ourselves and said, hey, when we run, we also have a speed of running, and maybe you also have a speed prefab that instantiates, I don't know what, related to speed. And so you also go ahead and add the public float run speed, right? Because if you want to run with a certain speed. And then you said, okay, I also want to add a public game object run prefab, something related to your running. And then you realize, okay, if this can run boolean is set to true, then I'm going to be using these 2 parameters. If this boolean is set to false, then these 2 parameters are not usable. I don't use the run speed because I cannot run. And then you thought to yourself, let's create a custom editor script. And I'm going to do that now. First of all, make this a hide in inspector because we are going to show it from the custom script. You can just add here like a header for yourself to know that these are the hidden fields. Now we're basically done with our main script. We have now to go and create a public class, let's call it player editor, that inherits from editor. And inheriting from editor is what makes this script be able to interact with the Unity editor. Also, don't forget to add the custom editor type of player. Why is it type of player? Because you are targeting the player script. Now, let's override this function. This function takes care of any clicks that are happening in the inspector window. Let's first select our target, and our target is going to be player as target. So now we know that whenever we select the script, we can have access to everything inside our player script. Let's do this now. Script that can run, we can actually access the variables that are inside the script. Editor GUI layout that toggle, let's give it a name, can run, and it targets can run. That means that whenever we are going to get to our inspector, the inspector is going to spawn this toggle. And editor GUI layout, that toggle says, hey, show a toggle in the inspector with the name can run that changes these values. All right, now let's make a check. If script that can run is set to false, then just return. Why? Well, if it's false, then we do not want to show these 2 fields. But if it's not false, then we want to show them. So let's go. Script that run speed, we're going to do the exact same thing as above, is editor that GUI layout that float field, because this is a float. Let's call it run speed, which also targets script that run speed. And this is our float. Let's make one more for the game object. So script that run prefab is editor GUI layout that object field. This target script that prefab is a type of game object, and you allow scene objects here to exist as well. So set it to true and make it as a game object. Good. Now this is all we had to do. If we go back to Unity, go to your object and add in our player script, we have this can run variable, and when we check it true, it's going to spawn these other fields. When we uncheck it, it's not going to show them. You can reference the prefab, make it run at 45 speed, uncheck it, and when you check it back, the reference is still kept. And so this was it for the custom editor script. This is a very simple editor script. You can do so much more things with it, but this is an introduction, and it's also something that will definitely help you in bigger projects. See you next time.